The Merkuriusmind presents to you our weekly dose of inspirational teachings. So sit back, listen, and thrive. And please, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can get notifications every time we release a new dose. Let's go!
Hey, podcast family and friends, welcome to the Merkuriusmind podcast. Anytime I'm in this space with you guys, I feel so energized because you guys has been playing full out. Like the love, the support, it has been so amazing. And today again, I am here, and just because of you guys, I am doing this. When I remember and when I see some of you guys comments and reviews and how this podcast or some episode has inspired you or impacted you in one way or another, I feel so pumped. It's not that I'm the best at podcasting, no, but the fact that I am able to connect with you people in a different level, it means a lot to me. So if you haven't joined this podcast community, please do so. All you need to do is just to hit the subscribe button and rate us, leave us a review. We have like 60 something episode on this podcast, so you can just look at all the episodes, look at the titles. There are topics there that might resonate with you, maybe what you're going through in your life at the moment. All you need to do is just listen to it. You might get one or two things from there, right? All we do in this podcast is help people grow, help us grow into the better version of ourselves, right? So it has been an awesome privilege to serve you guys, through this medium. And I am so happy. So whatever you're doing now, whether you're walking your dog or you're at home cleaning or you're driving or anything, just hanging with us today as we dive today into a very, very important and valuable topic. And guys, like I promised at the beginning of the year when we restructured our podcast, I'm going to be bringing real guests. There is no guest that is fake anyways, but I'm talking about guests that will be sharing with us their true life experience. So this is not something that is going to be technical, because I want more vulnerability so that people can be able to relate to each day problem, the challenges that we face day by day, and how we can find tools and strategies to be able to navigate. So today on the Merkuriusmind podcast, guys, I have with me a very good friend. So we have been friends for a while. Actually, she is the first guest on the Merkuriusmind podcast. So previously it was called the Smarter Show podcast. So she was actually the first guest that I interviewed on my show. And guys, this woman is phenomenal. So that is why I decided to bring her back. And because this is still the second month of the new year, she is going to be sharing her story, and I believe her story will inspire a lot of us to be able to level up in our growth in this year 2022. So guys, I have with me here Letty. I called her Letty Joy. That Letty actually means joy, but I have with me Letty Benavit. And she is a personal development writer and coach, and she derives joy in helping others discover and find their next level of growth by creating life-changing content and proven strategies. So guys, she is the author of a recently published ebook, which is the first in the series of 6 ebooks called A No Hype Mini Guide to How to Level Up in 2022. Guys, I have read this first series, and to be frank with you guys, I can't even wait for the other series because the book was very inspiring and I learned a lot from that book. So I will encourage you to go get, the book, and the truth is very short, precise, and direct to the point. So before the end of the podcast, I will let you guys know where to go and get this ebook. And guys, also, she is a copywriter and the host of the Level Up Your Growth on the Clubhouse. So if you're not on Clubhouse yet, this is a good time to jump in because a lot is happening there. And if you're on Clubhouse, I suggest you just find out time to go and look for Level Up Your Growth community. She is the one that hosts it, and she brings amazing guests every weekend on Saturdays. People that will come and share their stories, talk about their life experience, talk about their struggles, their wins and all that. And we grow together. I myself, particularly, I belong to that community and I have experienced a lot of growth since I joined. So I will encourage you to do the same. So guys, please help me welcome Letty Joy on the Merkuriusmind podcast. Welcome, Letty. We are happy to have you here.
Oh, thank you. That's so sweet. And yes, I was really privileged to be the first guest on your podcast. I could hardly believe it when you sent me the DM on Instagram, like, would you like to be on my podcast? And I was like, me? Like, are you talking to me? Like, okay. I mean, I've never done a podcast, but I'm happy to join you. And it was a really, really cool experience. And it's been great getting to know you these couple of years. And I really look forward to, gosh, our friendship just growing, I mean, it's all about growth, everything.
Yes. So. Thank you very much. Thank you, Letty. So Letty, let's jump into this. So I know that you are so big because this is something, you're my friend. So it's not something that I read somewhere, it's something that I've seen. You are so big on personal development and next level growth. That's one thing that you are known for. And you are a wife, a mother, and an entrepreneur. So I know that combining all these things is not easy, but I'm wondering, was there an incident maybe in your life or that caused you to, decide to take on this journey? Or is this something that maybe you slept one day, you woke up and you made a decision? Or was there something striking in that happened that made you say, okay, I think I found something. I think I'm going to go on this challenging journey?
Yeah, no, sorry, my throat's a little weird today. You know what, Chidi, all in all, like everybody, my life has been full of challenges, great times, hard times, it's like a roller coaster up and down, right? But all in all, like I'm a very positive and optimistic person. But I found myself in a part of my journey where I was feeling a little stuck, like I wanted to transition careers. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I thought I did, and then I didn't. And so I was kind of like searching. And so I think this is important when we're searching for things in life, a shift in any part of our life, to just stay very open. And so I kind of ran into personal development by accident. But the minute that I saw it, I was like, whoa, it caught my attention from like that first day. And so what happens when someone catches your attention? Like you can either be like, oh, okay, it caught my attention, awesome, move on to the next thing. Or you could be like, whoa, I got to investigate this a little bit more. And that's what I did. I just kept taking steps towards learning. Who is this person who caught my attention? What does he do? Oh, this is other stuff I could look into, other people he's connected to. And before you know it, I was following several people that were teaching personal development, and I could just see concepts that were going to start to change my life. And because I felt kind of stuck in life, like I really, really needed to be inspired and to have answers of how to do this thing that I wasn't sure how to do, how to make this change. And it wasn't just in my career, it was in other aspects, but all in all, it just gave me hope. And that's why I kept pursuing it and seeking it out. And one thing led to the other, and it's just been incredible. The transformation has been incredible. And I'm super grateful that this person who was sharing it that I first saw was sharing it. So I started sharing it because I wanted to pay it forward to other people that might be looking for those type of answers, So yeah, that's how it started for me.
Wow, that's very interesting. That's very interesting. And, I remember at the beginning, when we met, you put out great content. And one thing that stands out about you is you put passion, and love in the things that you do. There are days that you will just be like, how are you? You send message and you don't even do it because, the way the world just asks, how are you doing and all that. You ask because you are genuinely interested. You want to know how this person is doing. And that was one of the things that I said, I'm not going to trade this friendship for anything. And I'm happy that, so far, so good. The thing has been so awesome. So let's talk about your book, right? I'm so excited because, you know how I love to hear how people think and what prompts things. So Your book talks so much about a reflection, and it talks so much about reaching deep down to find answers within. You made it clear in the book that our greatness lies within us. So, but my question is this. There are some people, maybe because of the background that they had, the past traumas, the ugly experiences and things that they've been through, they don't really believe that they have something in them that is worthwhile, or something in them that, warrants greatness, or makes them deserve to be great. Like, they don't believe that. So such people, that you believe so much that we have greatness in us, such people, what do you have to say to such people to let them realize that, okay, truly, no matter what you've been through, you still have this greatness in you?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm personally, I'm a person of faith, and so I believe that God created us, and this beautiful soul that's inside of us. It's amazing, and unfortunately, life kind of happens, right? Life begins to happen, and we do get these things that impact us, and we do have um, things that hold us back, unfortunately. So it's up to us to tap into that true, deep us, who we are inside, not the us that shows up every day that has fears or that lacks confidence or that needs courage, that true, pure, authentic part of us that is really going to help us live the life we're meant to live. And so it kind of gets covered up with all these layers of things, right? And so how our job is to peel away those layers so that we can once again, find that core of that beauty that lies there, that is going to help us find that joy and that fulfillment and that success that we're seeking, and kind of stomp down the things that are holding us back. And so it's all there. It's just up to us to take the time to get to know ourselves better and to really dive deep and discover the things that we need to help us get to where we want to go in life.
Oh, wow. That's very interesting. So, sometimes the past experiences and the things that we go through blocks our visions to see who we truly are. So when
Absolutely.
you said, to peel off the layers, that's a very good point. Yeah, to peel off the layers so that we can be able to really see who we're meant to be. That's very powerful, Letty. Thank you so much for that insight.
Of course.
Another thing is, I said earlier that your book, talk a lot about reflection. And I know that reflection is a powerful thing. And because you have seen the benefits. But a lot of people don't reflect, not because they don't want to, but maybe they don't want to relive their past because they had so many ugly experiences. And if they reflect, all they do is regrets and pains and hurts and stuff. So they choose not to reflect. So for somebody like that, what can you do? Is there a way or tools? I know you talked about a framework in your book, but is there something that you can tell somebody like that to let them not see reflection as something that is not going to be helpful for them, and let them, see the greater side of reflection?
Right. Well, that's a challenging question because everybody is so unique, right? But my experience has been that, and reflection is very new for me. Like, honestly, it wasn't on my radar. I never was like this person who had this really amazing habit to reflect. I even had a journal that I would use. It was actually Brendan Burchard's journal, High
Wow.
Performance Habits, right? And so every morning he's got these questions that kind of make you think about how you want your day, like kind of makes you think about the beginning of your day. And then he has these questions at the end of the day. So I would do my best to do that. Sometimes I wouldn't do it perfect, but then at the end of the week, he had this whole weekly reflection. And a lot of times I would skip that because it was like a lot of work to do the daily.
Yeah.
But this weekly one, it was one more thing I had to take the time to do. But when I did take the time to do it, I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. But it still never clicked how valuable reflection can be, like the power that's in reflection. And like, for example, this book, for example, it's written on the idea of having a yearly reflection. You can start any time of the year and just go, let me look at the last 12 months. It could be March, and you can go, okay, what happened the last 12 months? Let me think about this last year. It doesn't have to be done in January. And, we tend to live life so fast paced, right? And so the year behind us is like a blur. It's just a blur. Like we're focused on today, what we're doing for tomorrow, but like when we take the time to reflect, it's almost like those bits and pieces of our past begin to come into focus in a unique way. And there might be something there that you missed the first time around that could add value to your life. It can help you. Maybe you see something as a regret, but when you reflect on it, you're able to glean something that you didn't on the first time around. It's like seeing a movie the
Yeah.
second time.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my gosh, I didn't catch that the first time, right? And so reflection is similar to that. So you may have something in your past that you can learn that you would have never expected to learn because you took the time to really slow down. It's about slowing down, being very intentional, unplugging from everything, and just focusing on a certain time in your life and asking yourself some questions about that time in your life. So, I mean, it's going to be unique for everybody. When I did my first reflection at the end of the year, that I thought, let me see if I can reflect on the whole year. The first time I did it, I just was blown away by how cool and powerful it was. Like I left that session 1-2 hours, whatever I spent, just feeling incredibly empowered because I was like, wow, all these things happened the last year. So much growth that I would have probably not even realized if I didn't go back and look. There were regrets, there were failures, but then I could say, okay, I can write them down and go, okay, these are the areas where I feel like I failed in the last year. What did I learn from that failure? I could stop, reflect, and then I could also journal. I could ask myself questions about it. And then I could also ask myself, what would I do differently now? And so all you could do is learn from those experiences. Like you cannot go back and change them. They're in your past, but you can try to learn from it and grow and mentally be prepared for the next time it happens in your future and be like, oh, yeah, no, this happened to me in the past.
Yeah.
This is how I responded. This is what happened. I don't want to see that going down like that again. So what can I do differently? So it's almost like preparing for that next time, but you can't really do any of that if you're just kind of leaving everything back there and just like, oh yeah, it's a blur, it's back there, I'm just going to keep going. Sometimes it's good to, I would say all the time, it's good to stop and reflect, but really with the intention of looking for the growth and looking for more joy and more fulfillment and more success in the future. Like how can you use the stuff in the past to help you be happier and more successful in the future? That's the purpose.
Wow, this is very insightful answer. Thank you for sharing. So the one key, you dropped so many insightful keys, but one thing is it is not good to reflect without intention, because I think that's where people miss it. They just want to reflect and they don't have intention. What is the purpose why you want to reflect? Because the way you mentioned it at the end, you said, when you reflect intentionally, you'll be able to now pick the areas that you need to grow. So that's very powerful, Letty. Thank you very much.
Exactly, right? Because if you're not reflecting, then you're just like, you're thinking about what happened, but you're thinking about it because you want to, it's almost like you're going back and forth in your mind about something, right? That happened, right?
Yeah.
And maybe there's regret there and you're just choosing to live in that regret.
Yeah.
There's really nothing you can do to change what happened. You cannot change it, but you can do something different in the future. You can grow, you can learn, you can be more prepared.
Yeah.
And so I think you hit it right on the nail. Like when you reflect, have a really beautiful intention as to why you're doing the reflection. Like have a purpose in it.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Yeah, because I remember I listened to one interview. I think it was Garage or somebody like that. So this lady was talking about how he used, she said she's been somebody that, deals with jealousy a lot. And all the time she'll be fighting that. fighting the jealousy. She would feel bad about herself and all that until she met somebody, her personal coach. And the coach said, do you know there's a way you can turn this jealousy to your benefit? She was like, what are you talking about? He said, anytime you're jealous about something, it means that you desire that thing that you're jealous of. So instead of you concentrating or focusing on the jealousy itself, think about why you are jealous. What is the thing about that person or that situation that made you jealous? So that thing will now be an indication that, okay, you need to go work on this because you desire this. And because you don't have it, you're now jealous for something. So the areas, the different phases of personal growth and development will open us up to different things that we don't know. I have seen someone that said that fear was their motivator. They just flip it around. They just turn it around, something that is negative, but they decided to intentionally look out for the beautiful thing in that negative situation and, try to grow from it and pick up some great, tips and all that to grow. So thank you. So as you were sharing, those thoughts were coming into my head, and, that was beautiful. Thank you very much. So had there been any like pivot or change that you had or you have as a result of powerfully reflecting on your past year or something?
Is there a big change that's happened?
Yeah, not like big. When I say big, I'm not talking about like a pivot, like, okay, you reflected on something, maybe a particular situation, and that made you say, oh wow, and the thing caused you to change or caused you to pivot or something.
Yeah, I mean, I think I came out of my reflection just feeling, it's almost like I knew the growth was there, but I felt it in so many ways because I could look back on certain things throughout the year, and I could be like, okay, I can remember feeling this way or reacting that way, but I've learned so much since then that I feel like if it happened right now, I would respond in this way. And so I think there's been a lot of growth. Like, for example, let's just talk about my relationship with my husband, for example.
Okay.
If we were like in a particular situation, I always kind of like wanted to maybe control it a little bit, which is not a good characteristic, right? And so I've learned on my growth journey that for some reason, something in my life, and I can't 100% pinpoint it, but it's impacted me in a way where I seek that control, right? And so it's been something I'm working on. So maybe I could look back at a situation where I kind of overran a conversation or was trying to get my husband to think a certain way or respond a certain way or do a certain thing. And in my growth journey, I found out that this is not a good thing, right? And so I can reflect back on something like that and go, okay, in this kind of a conversation, maybe I just needed to listen more. Maybe I just needed to kind of let go of that desire to be in control of the outcome and let my husband respond how he would respond, which he probably would have done anyways. But in my mind, I'm thinking, if I say this or encourage him in this way, maybe he'll do the thing I want him, quote unquote, to do. Okay. That's not a great way to live life. Yeah. And I know that I'm guilty of that. So when I'm reflecting and thinking about different situations throughout the year, I can see that and be like, I'm not really proud of the way I handled that conversation. I know that there's been growth there. And so I've been working on not necessarily trying to shift the way my husband would respond or act, but just, he's an amazing person. Like, why do I even feel that I need to even do any of that? It's silly, right? Yeah. But this is the kind of thing I'm talking about. Like, who we're created to be is not that person, but things in our life impact us in a way that kind of shift the way we would naturally respond in situations. And then we start being this person that really isn't the best version of ourselves. Wow. So yeah, I can see those pivots. I can see them already happening. I can see myself being much more aware that I have this problem and stopping myself and kind of saying like, no, I don't want to be this person. I want to trust in whatever my husband is doing. And I don't want to feel like I need to control anything. So there has been growth, and I can see those situations and be like, okay, definitely been shifting that little by little, but how can I do that even to another level? How can I, be even a better version of myself in those conversations, or am I feeling about the situation or my thoughts? And so it's about working on different aspects of how we how we process those things in our life, because it is our thoughts and it is our heart and it is our actions, right? So there's a lot of things to work on, and constantly we're always growing. We're always needing to take it to another level if we want to live our best life. So
Wow.
that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you for sharing that. I know that's a
of
personal
course,
story, and I really appreciate you sharing that. So
of
I
course.
genuinely appreciate that. Thank you very much. So, guys, the truth is this ebook, like I said earlier, is precise. Like it hits the point. It's something that you can't choose to be reading it every week. And the good thing about it, and I'm very glad when Letty said that it's a series. So it means the more she learns and grows, the more she puts in this book. And that is an advantage to whoever that is reading it, which means we will experience her growth, and that will contribute and inspire us to grow as well. So I will encourage you to go and get this ebook. Trust me, if I haven't read this, I may not have much thing to say about it, or all those, things that I've learned from it, but I have. And the way Letty talked about the reflection, the power of reflection, the power of, knowing yourself, going deeper, reaching deep down into yourself to tap into your greatness is amazing. And later there's I put it down here. So there is this statement that you made in the book that got my attention, and I said I would like you to share more light on it. So he said, get excited about the possibilities because they are truly endless. Adopting new frameworks, building new habits, and making better choices help you take the steps that will literally change your life. Now, this is the statement that got me. It said, it takes a bit of slowing down to get these things right, but it's in the slowing down that we actually speed up. So this statement, it was said, I would need to ask you to like give us more insight on this. So how can, in slowing down, we actually speed up?
Right. So, life is busy. We're so busy. We're a crazy extra amount of busy. And so when you're just busy and you're tied up in the busyness, you are just kind of letting life happen to you. You're not really happening to life. You're not really shaping your own life and that beautiful dream life that you want, that future. So you have to choose to slow down. You have to. You have to carve out the time to slow down, unplug from everything, have some time, be still, do the reflecting on your life. It doesn't have to be, oh, I'm going to do a reflection on the whole last year. Yes, that's an amazing goal. Maybe I'm just going to reflect back on the last week to see what happened. What did I feel like I did really well? What did I feel like where I failed? What can I learn from it? What surprised me? What brought me joy? Like there's so many questions we can ask ourselves, right? And when we slow down to do those things, we get to know ourselves better. And where we see areas that we can grow in, that thing that maybe you say, well, I really failed in this area. Well, what could you do to not fail in that area? Like you ask yourself the questions, you're slowing down so that you can find the answers that you need. Those answers are going to help you speed up in life. You're never going to discover them if you're not slowing down to seek them out. And that's what I meant by that statement.
Oh, okay. Wow. That's wow. Thank you for sharing that. So there's another thing you said that if we move, you move before you're ready, then you find the answers along the way. So it's just
absolutely.
So it's just like people always want, it's just like in our biological nature to want to figure out things before we do them. Like if you go to most people, even to just go get a job, they want you to have like 7 years of experience. They just want you to be able to like have everything figured out and all those things before you take the steps, and because they will think, do enough research, do this and everything becomes overwhelming. So, but you are telling us that it is in making those moves that you can be able to figure things along the way. Can you just share a little bit
Oh,
light on that too?
yeah, I have a powerful example because even writing this ebook that we're talking about on this podcast was, me moving before I was ready. Like I've never written a book. Even you think ebook, oh, it's a small thing, it's an ebook. I wanted to do like a mini guide. I wanted it to guide people, but in a small way. I didn't want it to be really long. And so sometimes it's easy to just write something longer as opposed to making something condensed that has the whole message you're trying to put out there. But I know people are busy, so I didn't want to make it too long of a reading. So just choosing to do an ebook and starting before I was ready. I didn't know at all what I wanted my ebook to look like. I didn't know. Did I want it to have images in there? Did I not? If so, what were the images and how many? What font do I want to use? Like, there's all these questions I didn't have the answers to. But most importantly, like, what was the exact message that I wanted to put out about reflection? I knew that it impacted my life, but how could I share that with others in a way that would make them want to take the time to try this? Because when you try something new, it expands your world. And it's just an incredible thing. It's so good for us. So I wanted to kind of write it in the way that would uh, help the person say, yes, I want to try this. And so it was a challenge. I didn't know how to do that. I had to learn. I had to start. I had to write things. I had to rewrite them. I had to stop typing and grab a piece of paper and pen and do it differently. Then I thought about maybe a framework. Like I've discovered frameworks that people have created that have been very impactful to me. And I love them. I'm like, oh, this is so cool. This is a word and this is the framework. And I'm like, could I do that? I don't know. Like, could I create a framework? I have no idea. So guess what? I started moving before I was ready to do it. And I just started trying to figure out how I would do a framework and what it would be. Like I started from scratch. I started from zero. But I really wanted to share this thing I discovered that was so transformational with other people. So I started before I was ready. And in that movement, I began to find the answers that I didn't have. I figured out the framework. And then once I figured out the framework, I figured out that I can talk about each piece of the framework. And then I started to do that. I made a beginning and try to kind of catch people's attention and work my way up to the framework. And then in the middle is the framework, and then the explanation of the framework, and then a conclusion, and kind of like wrapping it all together. But I didn't know I was going to do it that way. I didn't know. An ebook could have just been 10 pages written, no framework, no images. Like I had no clue. So as I started, I found the answers little by little. It started coming together. And then I also found answers that I didn't even know I was looking for, because I started finding this desire to not just write something and put it out there, but how can I support people to another level in this journey of reflection and in this journey of growth? And then all of a sudden I wanted to like put myself out there and like give accountability. So I put my Instagram handle in there and kind of said like, hey, reach out if you want to know, let's say, what my word was for the year. Because one of the things I talk about is picking one thing to focus on for the year.
Yeah, still have
But I made it simple. I was like, okay, well, if they reach out and tell me like what they're thinking of focusing on, I can also share what I focused on or what I'm going to focus on. And how can I make this connection with these people that are interested in growing? I didn't know how to do that. So I'm just taking these small steps. And then from there, I realized, I would really, really love to keep people accountable to this process, and most importantly, to their personal growth and their journey towards success. So then I thought, you know what? I'd really actually like to coach some of these people that are that interested in growing, that they're taking the time to invest in themselves by getting an ebook and reading it and trying something new. Like these are the kind of people I would love to partner with in life. And I had thought about becoming a coach a few years back and kind of put it to the side and did a different route. And I just stayed really consistent with this other route. And I love it. It's been amazing. But my passion is personal development. My passion is a transformation that has happened in my life that I could share with others and help them make the same transformation. And so what I do is my whole Instagram account is about sharing these concepts with people. I started an online community, which you're a part of, Chidi.
Yeah.
I host a clubhouse room every single week about personal development and professional development. It's this consistency towards helping people have a better life by discovering these concepts.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to pivot towards my passion. I really want to do this. And so I kind of put the copywriting down for a bit, and I'm just focused now on coaching and getting my certification and working with people one-on-one. And I'm working on possibly doing a group coaching for women. And so again, didn't know how to do any of this, but I'm taking one step at a time before I'm ready to become an actual coach and work with people one-on-one and in groups. So it's all just still happening. I'm still moving before I'm ready in many areas and just trying to discover what the next step is.
Wow.
But I'm doing it with so much intentionality.
Yeah.
And I'm doing it because I want to help others. And that's what kind of helps me to keep taking those steps, even though sometimes it's just like you want to throw your hands in the air and be like, I don't know how to do this. I don't know. How do I do my first webinar? How do I get these amazing clients that want to grow, that want to work with me? I don't know. I don't have all the answers, but I'm okay with that because they're out there. I just have to discover them by taking these steps and continuing to grow and continuing to seek them out. So I'm going to keep working on it. So that's where I'm at.
That's incredible insight. Thank you very much. Like, that's one thing I enjoy talking with you all the time, because anytime even if 5 minutes on the phone, or you always have this intelligent and insightful conversation. So, like I said earlier, your passion towards personal development and, a total well-being and people becoming their best self, growing into the next level of their life, is something that nobody can take that away from you. And I'm so glad here, you telling me about moving into coaching, because I know with that same passion, you would thrive in coaching, because a lot of life, you will be able to touch a lot of life and impact people in ways that, you couldn't even imagine, because of your passion for this personal development and the things about life. So thank you. I'll be more than glad to participate in the coaching journey. You know that, right? So
thank you. That's so sweet of you. My coach that I started with 3 years ago, just like, he's everything to me, because he created this safe space for me that I didn't have as a busy mom and a busy wife.
Yeah.
Your wife, you're raising children, you're working, like, you're busy, busy, busy. And it's all about everybody. And you don't take the time to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
You don't take the time to slow down and get to know yourself and really grow. You're just too busy. And so when I started working with him and learning these life-changing concepts, number one being, you got to stop putting yourself on the back burner. Like, you matter. Your needs matter. You got to have that self-care. You got to really care and love yourself and put yourself first. And that was a concept I had never heard before, ever. I was like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I'm a mom. My kids come first. My husband, my family, it was really one of those things that really started to change things. And so, again, like, so many things he's taught me, and I'm still working with him 3 years later, because he's been in my corner. He knows my journey. He knows where I started, and he knows where I'm at. And he can continue to remind me to stop and honor how much I've grown.
Yeah.
And, we don't do that for ourselves. So he's the one that reminds me when I'm struggling with different things, like, you know what? Remember when this was who you were? Remember when you had this fear? Remember when you felt like you weren't ready to do this thing, but you got uncomfortable and you did it anyways? Look where you're at now because of it. So you have to continue seeking discomfort, because that's where you grow, outside your comfort zone. You got to continue challenging yourself, and you have to continue surrounding yourself with people who are doing the same thing, because alone, it's really easy to just get discouraged and not do as much. But when you surround yourself with people that are doing and growing and seeking, it uplifts you. It keeps you going. Like, it's so important. So working with a coach has been everything to me. And we'll see. I'm really excited about the opportunity to do that for others,
No, I know. I mean, you have evolved so much, Letty. no kidding. I belong to the Zoom meeting that we have every once in a month and the weekly clubhouse. Like I'm a beneficiary to all those, I've benefited from all those things. So it's something that I myself have experienced. So guys, I'm telling you, this ebook is something you need to, put your hands, you need to lay your hands on this ebook because it's called a no hype mini guide to how to level up in 2022. So it's very concise, it's very precise. Like we're talking about the year 2022 and we're just in the second month, and it's not even too late because this is something that once you get your hands on it and you devour it and you study the book, read the book, see the things that are in the book, trust me. You talked about a framework in the book, I think Acorn framework, and it was phenomenal. So guys, I'm not going to give too much away. So you need to go get the book yourself. You need to go get this book yourself so you can, take a look at that framework. That framework will help you if you're struggling with reflection and all those things, because, she laid it out so perfectly. And the thing is, I've told you before how great of a copywriter you are. And this book, just makes the highest sense. Like I've told you that the way you write, sometimes you put out few words or sentences, but in those things you are sending a message that can resonate with a lot of people. So this ebook was like a confirmation of what I was saying, like you're a great copywriter. So when I was reading, I was like, how can such information and insights and wisdom be, compiled and put into this short ebook? You understand? So that was the interesting thing about it. And I was like, this is so great. So
it's because I'm a copywriter and I love personal development. I just combine those things together. Yeah. Copywriting is all about, like, there's so much detail that goes into copywriting and content creation. And it's, one of the biggest things is like the realization that people are busy and they don't have time to read your stuff. You may think it's so awesome, but guess what? They don't have the time. So a big thing is, how can you put out the message clearly and concisely, which just means short and sweet, basically. And so it's something I've been working on for 3 years, is how can I reduce the words that I'm putting down here and make it a shorter message that still has an impact. And so it's a combination of me being a copywriter and having this love for personal development and just kind of combining those things together.
That's great. In the framework, we talked about picking one word for the year. And that was something that I was, look, in the meeting, in our Zoom meeting, I told you, and immediately I said, I'm picking this thing. I'm not waiting no more. I waited for January. I waited for January because of the fasting and from my church community. So I picked the word miracle. I said, my word for the year is going to be miracle. And the reason I picked the word is not because it's a phenomenal word or it's such a great word. It's the meaning that I put behind that word. So the reason I choose it is that word serves as a catalyst for me in terms of gratitude. So it serves as a catalyst for gratitude. And it also, on the other hand, gives me the push and the confidence to know that I am a miracle myself. Being here on earth is a miracle. And that will empower me to do the things that I set out for myself and the things that I'm scared of doing and the things that I think I'm not there yet. I don't have the capacity to do. While on the other hand, I will not forget to appreciate every single thing. Waking up in the morning is a miracle. Being able to eat is a miracle. So, to put on my clothes and to drive out and come back is a miracle. So that word was so huge for me. And I said, because I don't want to miss all those little moments and at the same time be able to capture the big moments, I think this word miracle will be the best word for me in 2022. And I choose it. And I put it, I said, miracle, I look at you every day. This is my word for the year. So thank you. That book led me to do that. So
that's awesome. But you know what? Just in the fact that you're looking and seeking out miracles, you're slowing down to do that. Yeah. You have to. If you were just zooming by, you were letting life just happen and you weren't seeking out a way to change and shift and transform and just be the best version of you, you wouldn't be choosing a word like that where you have to slow down for that moment and go like, this is a miracle. You know, I really don't take the time to think about this thing, but it's actually a miracle that this happens every day or whatever the case may be. So you are slowing down to speed up.
Yeah.
You know, the tortoise always wins compared to the hare, always, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you
Wow.
know the story of the tortoise and the hare, Chidi?
No, you can tell us. Yeah, tell me.
The story of the tortoise and the hare? It's like been around forever, but you know the hare is the rabbit.
Okay.
And you know rabbits are just super speedy and you'd think like he's going to win. The tortoise is super slow,
Oh,
but
yeah.
in the story it's almost like a children's tale. The tortoise wins.
Really?
And
Wow.
so it's one of those things to kind of teach the lesson of like, you know, going slowly and doing things right and being detail oriented for it. In the end, you're going to win, even though it looks like this other person that's speeding along and maybe they've gone further than you and you're like, oh man, why are they doing so great? And I'm still here. It's because you're taking the time to do it right. The details matter. Carving out that time matters. And so eventually you will go further. You will go further than that hare because the rabbit is going fast, 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 like in a race. They get exhausted, they give up, they can't finish the race. But guess what? You are the tortoise, you are the turtle, and you get to finish the race because you went slow. So it's like almost like a kid's story that it's one of those wonderful lessons in a story that slowing down helps you to win the race, basically. Being detail oriented helps you to win the race.
Thank you for that story. Thank you.
Of course.
Can you tell us, tell us where people can find you, tell us where they can, get the book and all that, those any platform and where they can connect.
Yeah, absolutely. My favorite place to hang out is Instagram, and you can find me at letty.joy, letty.joy. I love connecting with people on Instagram, and honestly, that's where I'm able to make the connection with other people that are growing and support them and just be a part of their journey. And it brings me so much joy to be able to contribute on a social platform like that. So, I mean, I'm in other places, but that's my favorite place to connect. And if we wanted to connect further, we could always exchange other information. But yeah, if anyone's interested in connecting and just getting to know one another, jumping on a Zoom and chatting or whatever, like I'm always open to that. So.
All right. Thank you very much. So guys, I'll put the information below. So trust me, I met Letty on Instagram. So, and look at how far our friendship, has gone, like 2 years and counting. And I've grown from her community, from our Zoom meetings and all that. And now I'm not only enjoying the friendship and the growth from the book. Also, I just shared my testimony about how I pick a word after reading the book. So, all these things is, like she said, we think we are too busy, running around and doing all those things. And we are forgetting that slowing down is actually the thing that will help us to speed up. I remember this narrative about, two people, they sent two people, they gave both of them a cutlass to go cut down a tree, a different, like two different trees. And as they went into the forest, the cutlass is a dull cutlass. It's not sharp enough. So one decided to it's going to take one like an hour or something to go, sharpen the cutlass and come back. But the other was like, that 1 hour is a waste of time. I would rather use that 1 hour to be cutting the tree. And what happened? The other one went 1 hour, sharpened his cutlass, came back, and the other one was still battling because the other cutlass is so dull that there is no progress. And as soon as he came back, in the matter of a few minutes, he cut down his tree. And the other one was still there struggling. So if you look at this story, this is a perfect picture of what it means to actually slow down. Slow down doesn't mean you're, zoning out of life. It means it might be to just gain a little knowledge from here or gain some capabilities or do the reflection that is required intentionally to be able to grow. So that's the thing that most people don't understand. They just be like, I'm out there, I'm out there, do this, do that. And we miss it. We just run so speed that we miss it. And before we know that, we'll just come up with a conclusion that it's not working these things doesn't work. But look at me today, look at Letty today, look at the things that we have, the slowdown tactics that we have taken, and we can tell you that I am enjoying my life. Trust me, the things that I'm experiencing since I've been on this journey, and I'm learning every day by day and growing. So trust me, guys, if you think you don't have the time to go read this book, you're doing yourself a disservice. Connect with Letty on Instagram. She's going to send you the link, and it's not an expensive book to read. It's a very short read, but will bring a positive change in your life and help you to level up and grow. So thank you so much, Letty. Thank you. So is there anything that I didn't ask you, maybe concerning the book, or maybe anything you want to share that you think will be of importance to our audience, or do you think we touched many things?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like I was telling you earlier, reflection is something new for me. Um, with doing it intentionally, like very specifically, like really getting some pen and paper and writing things down and really digging into those answers that we wouldn't find if we didn't take the time to do it. Like it's very new to me, but the power that I felt in it is just so incredible. And I think if people are willing to be open to trying something new,
Yeah.
it's so expensive to take something and really, really do it. Don't just read it and then don't not do it. Like really read it, do the process. It's not a one-time thing. You're going to find yourself wanting to stop on occasion and do a little bit more because it's going to be so powerful. And that first time you're going to be like, wow, honestly, it opens up your eyes to things that you would never have thought you would discover. So for me, it was a very beautiful experience, not just a powerful experience. And it's one of those things that I'm going to continue to do because I know that it's going to help me to live a better life. So all in all, I think it's just about, like you said, it's like a strategy to stop and do these things, right? It's a strategy to slow down and incorporate something new and see if it works for you. See how it works for you. It's going to be different for every single person. And continue to do that throughout life, being open to new things and expanding your world a little bit at a time. And you're going to see that you're going to get closer and closer to that beautiful future that you envision and you don't quite know how to reach. The answers will come, they will appear. So I just
Thank you
encourage
very
people to
much.
try it.
Thank you so much, Letty.
Of course.
This is beautiful. I enjoy every bit of this, this conversation. I told you before we started that I love having these conversations with you because, you know how to inspire. Your words are so kind and gracious. So we are so honored, to have you on this show. And thank you very much. And guys, thank you very much for, taking out your time to listen to this beautiful conversation. And I believe you learn one or two things. And please, if there is anything that resonates with you, one or two things that Letty shared that resonate with you, tag us, put it on Instagram, tag us, tag me, tag Letty. Let us know that, okay, wow, this thing that you shared, I gained a lot from it. I learned this, I learned that from it. Let us know. It's such an awesome experience for us to know that our audience, our listeners, this podcast family, you're gaining something. It helps us know that we are doing something right, for you and for us as well. So thank you so much. You guys has been amazing, amazing podcast family. I will never wish for another family but this one. So thank you guys. And in case you haven't joined this family yet, and this is your first time of running into Merkuriusmind podcast, just hit the subscribe button. Here you will find inspiration, you will find motivation, you will find strategies and insights and wisdom that will help you to grow and tackle the challenges of life day after day, and build a community and have like-minded people to share things with. So thank you very much for your time, and thank you for subscribing. Thank you for being a part of this family, and we will see you on the next episode. Thank you, Letty. I can't say that enough. We appreciate.
You're so
you.
welcome. Thank you for
And I can't
inviting me.
wait
I'm so
for
honored.
the other
Thank
series. I can't
you.
wait to read the other series. I'll be looking out for it. Yeah. So thank you.
You're welcome.